what we're going to do here is Eddie's going to talk me through his team step at a time. So number one, Eddie, give us a couple of clues, get people guessing who's watching. Give a couple of clues to the guys. Who is it?
So these players, so a lot of the majority of them, I've had a photo with here and there, maybe at the KC, or when I've been doing a food shop with my mum. But a lot of them for me is like the personalities that I've seen like on display on the pitch, off the pitch. You always see a picture of them, like a GIF of them on social media doing something quite funny. And then a couple of, then like obviously one of them, which I don't think you even know yet, Matt, is one of them that I've gone with. I do actually have a shirt of, so to say, in my man cave. And I was one of them people that you see at the stadium with the.
Oh no! Oh, if I'd known this, why have you dropped this on me now, aren't you? You shouldn't have told me this.
Mate, it was a long time ago, so. Well, I say a long time ago. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'd say it was a long time ago.
I am 100% going to Photoshop you holding a sign saying, "Can I have your shirt, please?"
I've got the picture on my phone somewhere, so I'll send you it after this if you want.
What? Still of the sign?
I've got a picture of me holding the sign, if that counts. You can do whatever you want and Photoshop it anywhere in the stadium. You can even put it in the picture of me in the DJ booth at City if you really want.
Yeah, well, I might even just change what it says on it there, and just go old school.
It'll be hard because it's in a certain language, so Google Translate helps me out for the language. So
couple of clues. There we go.
Couple of clues. So.
Right then. So number one, we're going to start at the back, and just to add a bit of context to this for anybody, Maizai is not the best team. You know, the best team on paper. This is not what we're going for. We're going for the team that brings a bit of nostalgia to you. You've got good memories of, people that used to love chanting their name. It could be, there's multiple of different reasons as to why you could be choosing these people. And number one, this goalkeeper, I'm not gonna lie, mate. I'm quite stoked that you've done it. I really like the guy. So,
yeah.
do you want to give the shout out, or shall I just throw it up?
Yeah. So I had to choose this goalkeeper because, well, for two reasons really. The first reason was England under 21s played against. I think it was Kosovo under 21s at the MKM Stadium. I think it was about 4 years ago.
Yep.
4 years ago-ish to like pretty much the day. Like it came up on my Snapchat memories the other day actually. And I was walking, so I was sat in E10 or E11 for that game. And I was walking up to West Ham reception and I just see this big tall guy with black slick back hair. So 4 years ago, he changed his haircut and I was like, oh my God, it's Eldin Jakubovic. I was like, oh my God, proper sound guy. And I got a picture of him. Absolute legend. Like I was just so stoked to meet him, and he was just such a sound, down to earth guy. But the real reason why he was my favourite was the determination and the passion that he showed for the club. Just like the saves that he made, like just his like presence on the pitch. You knew that it was good. It was going to be a safe hands, if you pardon the pun, in goal. So especially when you see the gif of him at Arsenal away in the FA Cup when he does that, like.
We all know that one, don't we? Now,
character, wasn't he? So that's why I've gone with Eldin Jakubovic.
I've got to share the nostalgia with you because it's not very often a goalkeeper gets the crowd going, right? You don't often hear that. You get the odd save here and there, but he was a character, wasn't he? And I guarantee if you speak to a couple of people that were, like, for example, in the squad or whatever, they'd probably say the same thing. They'd probably say the same thing about him.
I agree with you. I think his presence alone was just unbelievable. Everyone just got proper riled up, didn't they? When he was like doing his antics, everyone was like buzzing. Like he just got everyone like booming. So yeah.
Go on then. So this moves me on to the next one. A big fan of Jakubovic. Sure, these two played together. So I can't understand why he's playing left back for you. This is the thing I can't get. So I'm going to bring up on screen and see what anybody else thinks of this. Before Eddie starts talking, everyone just throws some comments in about what the hell is Curtis Davies is doing at left back. Talk me through it.
Well, you'll see in a couple of players' time why he's playing at left back, because there's a certain someone that is featured in the team elsewhere. But for me, I wanted to choose Curtis Davies because, as you'll probably seen on my DJ interview with Hull, I literally spoke about it there and then on the interview, and they played the video itself. It was just a leader, a legend. I know, sorry, Zig. I mean, it's just one of them. I had to play him at left back because of what I'm going to do further on that you'll see in the episode. But yeah, just the leadership mentality, the passion, and just everything about him. It was just a true captain, leader, legend. And also when I worked my first ever job in a place called the Triton in Brantingham. He was one of the first customers I ever served as well, and he was very nice to me. So it's all right. It's all right. If anyone's from my neck of the woods, you'll know what Triton is. But yeah, I served him, and he was just a proper pleasant guy to speak to. Really nice gent, and yeah, I'd probably have to say that's why he was one of my favourites at the club. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, big fan of Curtis Davies. What's your best memory?
Oh, it's got to be the goal at Wembley, hasn't it? That's I've even said it in the Hull City interview. It's just like I said, I was there with my grandpa as well. And whoever knows me, they know how much my grandpa means to me. Like seeing that and like just being with him when he scored that goal, it was just unbelievable. It was just mad. So yeah,
top marks. I think there isn't a head that didn't fall off when he scored that goal, including his own. Everybody lost their heads.
Oh yeah. Well, that's from the goal, wasn't it? So you're just watching him when he's pulling the shirt and everything. It's limbs.
Yeah, exactly. Before we knew what limbs was. Number one centre back. Then here we go. None other than Hazard.
King.
Yeah.
What a boy. Obviously York lad. Signed him at the same time as Andy Robertson. And yeah, I just thought he was one of my favourites. Like he was obviously. I know a lot of people might give me a bit of a stick, but realistically, we sort of did make him the player that he is today. I know it sounds daft, but if he didn't come to us, then he wouldn't have been where he is now, I don't think, personally, in my personal opinion, because we give him that platform to go on and reach the highest level in English football, really, like playing for your national team. Captain Cristiano Ronaldo.
Do you find it mad that he didn't really get much of a look in under Brucey as well? He was always playing like second fiddle to Alex Bruce, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I think you've got to sort of look at that and think they've got the same last name. It's his son, like. But yeah, that's why Harry's my favourite. I mean, he was just such a brick wall at the back. How he could take out two players in one tackle, drive up the field, just an unbelievable player, and that's why he's probably my favourite. Plus, I do have one bad thing to say about him. I did ask him to take me to prom when I was in year 11, but he didn't reply to my DM on Instagram. So that's my only downfall with him.
I think we need to untangle that a little bit more. Taking people to prom, I see that as asking someone out on a date.
No, I asked him to drive me and my mates to prom in his car. One of them.
Anything to do with the fact that you both look the same, or anything to do with that?
Could have been. Could have been. I did have a smaller head back then, though. To be fair, so who knows?
Mini Harry. Right then, this one for me. I don't know. I'm probably gonna say this so many times when I'm doing this with people, but this next person, what a name! What a name! Let's bring him up.
The king, another king. Like
we all dream of a team of Paul McShanes. A team of Paul McShanes.
It's one of them, mate. It's like same again with Davis. That goal again, like. The goal he scored, which basically helped us to go up to the Premier League for automatics again. And I think everyone, I got a picture of him as well. As like I said, he's just a real sound, down to earth guy. Like I think he was playing for Rochdale at the time. I think my family were having a family party, and I got sent out on the on a soft drink run for everyone at home. So I drove up to a garage round where I live, and he'd just come back from a Stockport game or Rochdale game, one of the two. And yeah, he was there. I got a picture of him. Really nice fella, and obviously one of my favourites. He was just a brick wall. didn't back down to nothing and scored another vital goal for us. Yeah.
Yeah, some say train Chuck Norris, don't they? There's many different ways to look at him. He is an absolute titan. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Another comment coming here from Zig. Looks like Zig's just doing it all by himself tonight. Anybody else want to comment? Pick on him. Have a go on him.
Yeah, pick on me. I can take pelters, guys. I can take them.
Skin like a rhino. Skin like a rhino. So next up, this is your right back now. We're moving across to your right back, and this is Mr. Elmo Hamady.
Yes. So I chose El Mohammadi just because obviously a lot of people didn't really like what he did. Like obviously doing all these crosses all the time, this, that, and the other. But the way that he played, it was just it added a bit more attacking threat. So like, when he's putting the balls in the box, 9 times out of 10 there wouldn't nothing would come from it. But sometimes if it did go in, like obviously it gets the crowd going, And one of my favourites, like once again, shock. I got a picture with him. But one thing that does stick out for me is that game where Paul McShane scored that goal and he's on telly and he's doing that in the, in front of the camera, and I just think he had a bit of a how do you put a personality about him. Like that's for me. Like you'll understand. You know me. Like you sit behind me whilst I'm DJing at the MKM Stadium. Like you've got to have a bit of a personality to get on with me, and it's
makes me sound right creepy here, mate. I'm not gonna lie. Play football together. I've got you as a co-host. I had you as a guest, and I'll sit behind you watching you DJ. There's going to be some stuff going on here, isn't there?
100%.
Crawl out with that. Right then. So El Mohammadi, much like you said about the crosses there, I'll kind of agree with you. I remember when we played under Steve Bruce and we went to the 3-5-2, or however you want to look at the 5-3-2, whichever way you want to look at it, him playing down the right hand side, our main point of attack was our right back, which was the most bizarre thing ever. It knocks me head off. But let's move on then. We're in centre midfield now. So far, for anybody who's just jumped in, the team so far, Eddie's memorable 11, the team that he loves the most. These, again, are not the best 11. This is a team that he loves the most for multiple different reasons. We've got Eldin Jakipovic in goal. Left back, a bit of a strange one, Curtis Davies. Centre backs, Harry Maguire and Paul McShane. And then right back is El Mohammadi. And you've joined us just as we're about to go into the number one of 3 centre midfielders. So here he is, Mr. Tommy Huddleston. Give me
yes.
I don't think you need to say anything. We can probably just move on to the next guy. We all know why Tommy Huddleston's in here, right?
Baller, first of all.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best ball playing centre mids I've ever seen at the club, ever. So he used to live near me, obviously, before he moved to when he left. When he went to, did he go to Derby? Derby, yes. So I'd always see him once again doing the food shop when I was with my mum. So, but yeah, I just thought like he was one of my favourites. Like he was just such a good player. He always brought like some sort of, and obviously I want like flair on FIFA where you're doing like your 5-star skills, but he brought like something where everyone would be a bit like wowed by it. Do you know what I mean?
It was technically, arguably one of the best passes of the ball we've had in our team. I'm trying to think back, and a name might have escaped me, but I can't think of a better pass of the ball that I've seen in the black and amber.
I have to agree with you.
Think of one.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah, pick a pass out of anything.
And yeah, I was at the game as well when he got his hair cut against Fulham.
Yeah,
so I think that was the highest scoring game I've ever watched. At Hull. So that's at the time anyway. Obviously, I've seen us beat like Charlton 6-0, this, that, and the other. But yeah, that's why he's one of my favourites. Like he's just one of my favourite ever players at Hull. So what more can you say?
When I thought of this as an idea of things to do, where we can run through people's teams together, I just thought this would be cool. I can see why people like certain players and stuff, but I'm looking at every single player now, and I still haven't done my own team. I've had a couple of teams come into me already, like for guests we've got going on, and I'm thinking, how am I going to pick 11? I've got 42 at the moment. I've got to try and dwindle it down. So I don't know where I'm going to go. This next player is in the current squad. Give us a shout, and I'll swing it on. Who is it?
Ozan Tufan. There he is. baller, Turkish Magnifico. What do you want to call him? Anything. I'll agree with you. He's an absolute baller. And like I say,
Got a picture of him.
I actually have, yeah. When I was
Sure.
on the last home game of last season, I was in a certain place after the game, and I saw him. But like I say, like if like the question I got asked on the DJ interview, if I had to choose one person to score a penalty to save my life, then it would be Ozan Tufan. Clinical, and he scored 3 against Wednesday. So what more can you
Nothing
ask
better.
for?
Cheers for jumping in, Kieran.
No, then, Kieran, how are you doing? You're right.
Loves the team so far. Can't lie, I love it too. Struggling to see where I will find a bit of a difference. So, Ozan Tufan, he's come in unbelievable. He's done so many good things. Bit of a slow start, I think. I do believe we're seeing the best out of him now. Favourite of the pitch. He's heavy, not in a bad way.
100%.
He's strong, and he does work hard. So, and he's got the final product, which is good. Another comment in here from Ziggy. Up there with T Hoods as possibly the best midfielder in black and amber with Robbie Corran.
The Slovenian. It was close. I was going to put Robert Corran, but obviously it's not with like the best. Obviously, it's like my favourite. So obviously, I would have, if it was the best 11, then I would have put the Slovenian Messi in there. But you know, I
Never heard that.
did you not see it? The whole city put it on the Twitter the other day, wishing him happy birthday to the Slovenian Messi. That's a good one.
I've never seen it. Never seen it. And I've just put a typo in with a comment I've just put out. Mega. Right then, let's roll back the years to when we first got promoted to the Premier League and stick this guy in the
How
middle.
ironic, though. How
Exactly.
ironic. Let's just put a hold. What day is it today?
Exactly.
It is a certain player's day today.
It is. It is that day, and we've all seen the highlight. Unless you live under a rock, unless you're an Hull City fan, and you live under a rock, you must have seen the highlights today from this day. 15
years ago.
15 years ago.
I'd have been 7. Wow.
Giovanni, City's number 10. Love it. Absolutely. Where was you? Do you remember seeing the goal live, or was you watching it?
Yes. So I had been out for a meal. Obviously, I was only 7, so it was nearly my bedtime.
Big meal.
Big
fish
meal.
fingers, chips and beans. There it is.
No, I think it was I think, if I remember rightly, to be fair, my memory's actually pretty good. I think it was an Italian down Willoughby Road. Next to, well, now it is Newcastle. So it was next to that. And I was with my mum, my brother, my godmother, both my godmothers, and their kids. And we ended up going to a place called Blackburn Leisure Centre, which is literally not far from where I live now. And they had a big, massive screen up. Place was rammed. You wouldn't even believe. And I just remember we got there literally 10 minutes before the goal, and it was like, do you know, like when you see like at the World Cup and you see the fan parks, all the beer goes up in the air. 7-year-old me, I just see this goal going, like I'm going crazy. There's beer landing on me everywhere. Man, it was one of the best feelings in the world. Like, just for that goal alone, he's in the squad. You know.
Yeah, I didn't go. My dad had the away direct that year, so he went to every away game. But yeah, I didn't go. I was working at the Good Fellowship, so I was pouring pints. And so there's quite the difference in age between me and you, mate.
Yeah, there is.
Moving on. Let's come forward a few years from there and talk about this guy. I know why he's in here. I love the guy. I don't know if he gets in mind though. It's Kamil Grosicki. So I want to hear all about this. Why is Kamil Grosicki in here?
So funnily enough, that's
got a picture of him.
No, that's the shirt that I've got. So that is the shirt that I have in my man cave downstairs. So it pains me to say it, but I was one of the people that would go to the game. I only did it once. I've got 100% ratio. I have 100% shirt to sign ratio, and I feel embarrassed to say it, but it's my first show, so I might as well get the embarrassment out of the way now. This, that, and the other. But yeah, I went, obviously, it was at the time when you'd see like people writing signs like Cristiano Ronaldo, this, that, and the other. Yeah, it was literally that, but in Polish. So I wrote it in Polish, and so obviously at the time the stewards were like doing checks for signs. So what I did is I slipped it down the back of my joggers and pulled the coat over the top. I don't want to give anyone any ideas who's watching because it was. Oh, it was when we played against Stoke at home and we won 2-0 actually. And so I went down to the front at the end of the game, and there was a load of Polish blokes stood behind me, and they were chanting something about Kamil. So I was like, "Oh God, I'm not going to get it now because he's going to go to them." So I held it up, and then he shook someone's hand in the middle of the park, and he looked, laughed, and took his hood down and shook someone else's hand, and he started walking over, and I thought, surely not, like please, surely not. Takes his jacket off, takes the shirt off, jumps over and gives me it, and I was like, "What has just gone on? That is the maddest thing." And like ever since then, I've loved him anyway. Like I just thought he was an absolute baller, but that's
Turbo.
why he's my favourite. Turbo Grosicki. So yeah, Kamil Grosicki is my favourite winger. So
is it true that he had an energy drink?
Yes,
he had his own energy drink.
He had his own energy drink. I have not, no, because it was only in Poland. So
was it? Oh, I've been there recently. Should have looked for it in all the backstreet convenience streets. Right then, here we go. Back to the current squad. And I'm not going to lie to you, this one was a shock for me. I wasn't expecting to see it. But he looks absolutely majestic in this kit. I love that kit.
Baller. That's all I'm saying. My Persian Prince, absolute legend. You all know, like people who know me, people who watch the interview, they all know how much like this guy is literally my favorite player. Yeah, he's just an absolute baller. Like, I've actually had the chance to meet him. Really, really, really nice bloke. And it was funny enough. It was the only game that my friend from university, who's Iranian, it's the only Hull City game he's ever been to. And we both, it was on the last home game, and we both, obviously, we ended up in a certain place after the game. And Aliyah was in there. So they both got to speak to each other in Iranian, and he was like, he's just such a sick guy. But obviously, like, regardless of that, he has been my favourite player since he signed. Like, yeah, I just love the bloke. I just think he's an absolute baller. Like, I'd love to see more of him this season. But yeah.
I think it's going to be a step at a time. With this season, it's going to be one of the things where players are going to have to wait their turn, essentially, aren't they? While we've got players performing well, you're just going to have to wait your turn. But yeah, big fan of the player. Doesn't make mine, though. So here we go.
Sad. Big sad.
The last one, your goal scorer. This guy is what you're pinning all your hopes on to put the ball in the back of the net. And I know why you've done it.
Because he will.
Abel Hernandez. With those two either side, you'd like to think he's got a strong chance.
Maybe if he has if Grosicki gets injured, then you put Philogene on the right. But yeah,
oh wow, Philogene's really gone up that quick, has he?
I think he's a baller. You know me. I played Billie Jean before his first game, so if I'm doing that before he's even played a game, then you know, it means something to me. But yeah, he's with Abel Hernandez, just like I said with Curtis Davis, the passion that he had for the club. It was sad to see him go the way that he did. Obviously, if things worked out better, he would have been here for a lot longer, give or take. But I just think like the passion, like the determination, the goals he scored, like also if you ever get here's one for you, Matt. If you ever get a pub quiz question on who scored the first goal of the Premier League season, is it 2016, 2017? Always put A because you'll always be right. Just always put A on one of them speed quizzing ones because you'll always be right. So there you go. There's a fun fact for you.
That's because I'm trying to work this out. I don't know if you're trying to trip me up here. You're saying here because it's either Abel Hernandez or Adama Diamande.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
First letter of the first name.
Moving on from that. Cheers, mate. Something to keep us talking. Comments come in. Zig, Matt, I need to see yours. Cheer me up about the advanced. Well, Philly looks classed, to be fair. That was not me struggling to read that at all. So, yeah, mine will be coming out in the next couple of episodes. Won't be doing it just yet. Today, it's all about Eddie. And or Grandpa Joe will be doing his later on in the episode. So for anybody who's tuned in and hasn't seen the full team, a quick run through as to what we've got so far. So My's Eye is how we call it, but it's the My 11. And this is where Eddie has shared his favourite 11. These players are not because they're the best players that he's ever seen at the KC or the MKM or whatever ground he's seen them at, although he does think with some of them. Number 1 in goal, he's got Eldin Jakubovic. Left back, I've said this earlier, bit of a strange one, Curtis Davies. 2 centre backs, Harry Maguire, Paul McShane, and then right back is El Mohammadi. 3 centre midfielders of Tom Huddleston, and I have completely Giovanni and Ozan Tufan, and then left wing we've got Krasicki, right wing we've got Alias Admesh, and then striker he has got Abel Hernandez. And here it is. Here's how he's laid it out, and I think it looks pretty nice.
It's a pretty good team. If you come across that team in their prime, you'd be a bit scared, wouldn't you?
So 2 more quick. Yeah, I agree. I agree greatly. Although you're probably not going to get many balls in down the left-hand side from Curtis Davies, it probably suits the modern game. I'm not going to lie to you, because he'll tuck in while El Mohammadi goes up and supports on the right, and Krasicki's your outlet on the left. So, it probably suits the modern game very, very well. It's a strong squad. 2 more questions for you. Okay, number 1, who's your captain?
I probably run with Curtis Davies, to be fair. I'd run with him as the captain, leader, legend, as I said.
The out of position Curtis Davies.
But like I say, you know why he's out of position, and people don't know that yet.
Exactly. And second one, who's your gaffer?
So the gaffer,
yeah,
the gaffer has to be a certain manager who everyone
everyone who to play at the stadium. Is that what you're saying?
No. Everyone who follows the club knows how much faith we have in this man. And I have to go with the gaffer as Liam Rossinia. That's why everyone was wondering why Davies is at left back. That is why I'm putting Liam Rossinia as manager. It was a tough decision between Bruce and Rossinia, but I thought the way that Rossinia talks, the way that he has the team playing at the moment, the passion, everything like that. And his nana lived in Hull. So what more can you ask for?
Not much more, to be honest. Yeah, fits in perfectly. A left back can do a job there. This has kind of got me a bit excited to do mine. Kind of looking forward to doing it. So that brings us to the end of the My's Eye section for Eddie Richards. Have a look at it. Please feel free to rinse him for it if you've got any slaver you want to give him. I'm more than happy to like and retweet anything you throw his way.